Gentlemen, as I already said, we are having our chief guest who is just coming in. We are all excited as cooperatives from Africa and beyond. We are having Prime Cabinet Secretary Dr. Musalia Mudavadi. Our ministers is just walking in. And welcome, Cabinet Secretary. Our Prime Cabinet Secretary, our chief guest, you are most welcome, our ministers. And before we resume our seats, we shall play the national anthem for Kenya. Consecutively, we shall play East African national anthem. Press.
Twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Thank you. Before we resume our seats, still our chief guest, allow me to call upon two of our colleagues who shall offer opening prayer for this ceremony. May I have Kode from the Gambia to offer the first prayer, and may I have Winile from the Kingdom of Eswatini to offer the second prayer. May I have them in front now? Thank you. Mr. Fode, please. Winile.
May we all pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, a wonderful day indeed. And it is according to your word that we need to rejoice. Lord, today we are so grateful for the blessings that we are in the kingdom. We are in the Republic of Kenya. Lord, we pray. As we are here, our hearts are with you and you are with us. And we are so grateful for that. Continue to bless us with all the engagements. We pray for peace and your guidance here in Kenya. We ask this in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Mr. Forde. All right. Well, our chief guest, we are so happy to have you. May you resume your seat. May we all get seated. Shall we welcome our chief guest? I wanted to say in silence, but you remember what we agreed. Our chief guest, we are honored to have you amidst us. Before you, you have over 42 nations here of cooperatives, people that have same mind, and they're putting their heads together as leaders. And in this opening ceremony, before we get to the flag parade, these cooperators would like to welcome you in a special way. Cooperators, we are ready, right? Happy family! Together, credit unions! Our fees, credit unions! All right, so as I said, I think you can feel the warmth and the excitement. Our chief guest, Your Excellency. So, without much ado, sir, we are getting into flag parade. Nations that are represented here will have their representative carry a flag and march forward. I hand over to the team. Are you there, flag carriers? Credit unions? SACCOs? Yes, over to you, press.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 SACCA Congress Flag Parade, a beautiful display of national unity and patriotism, celebrating the 44 countries represented here today. In the spirit of cooperation among cooperators, we encourage you to cheer your respective national flag as it approaches the main stage. To start us off, we present you with the 7th largest country in Africa. This is home to one of the largest waterfalls in Africa and is one of the richest countries in the world in terms of natural resources, with significant reserves of diamond. It's also home to one of the youngest population with a median age of only 15.9. It's also home to the giant sable antelope, an animal that was long since assumed to be extinct. This is Angola. Thank you, Angola. We move to the beautiful republic that hosted us last year in the 2023 SACCA Congress. This is Africa's highest concentration of elephants and home to the Okavango Delta, the largest inland delta in the world. This is also the world's biggest diamond-producing country. I present to you the national flag of the Republic of Botswana.
Cheers.
Thank you, Botswana. Moving on swiftly to a republic that offers an unforgettable vacation owing to its beautiful hilly landscape and abundance of national parks and reserves. It is also home to the world's longest freshwater lake and second deepest lake, Lake Tanganyika. And here, cattle are a symbol of health, happiness and prosperity. This is Burundi. Burundi, we now head to Central Africa to find a country often known as Africa in miniature because of its geographical and cultural diversity. This is the home of African football and boasts one of the highest literacy rates in Africa. Help us welcome the Republic of Cameroon. From Yaoundé in Cameroon, we take a flight to the second largest country in the world. Here, we find the thundering waters of Niagara Falls, possibly the most famous waterfall in the world. This is the land of openness, where wide open spaces inspire guests and locals will welcome you with open hearts. We present to you the national flag of Canada. Thank you, Canada. Next on stage is a country referred to as the gateway to South America, known for its rich cultural heritage, stunning landscapes, and warm-hearted people. This is home to famous stars like iconic singer Shakira, the second most biodiverse country in the world, and the largest leading source of emerald. I present to you the national flag of Colombia. Thank you, Colombia. Still in Central America, we visit a country rich in history, incredible natural wonders, rich biodiversity, and one of the largest producers of aromatic coffee. It is also home to a sanctuary that protects millions of turtles. This is Costa Rica. From the capital city of San Jose in Costa Rica, we come back to Africa to find a country that prides itself as the world's largest producer of cocoa beans. It is also home to the largest church in the world and has an impressive 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. A round of applause for the national flag of Côte d'Ivoire. From the west, we now go to the second largest country in Africa. This is a country where music is perhaps its biggest export, home to the world's second largest French-speaking city and among the most resource-rich countries on the planet. We present to you the national flag of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Thank you, DRC Congo. Now, we take you to one of the world's oldest and longest serving monarch, home of the largest and oldest occupied castle in the world, and tea is their most famous drink. I present to you the national flag of England. Thank you, England. We now go to the Horn of Africa and meet a country whose calendar is 13 months per year. It has the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites on the continent and is home to the first African to win an Olympic gold medal. Give it up for the national flag of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. Thank you, Ethiopia. Next on stage is one of the world's largest car producers, home of Mercedes, the first country in the world to adopt daylight saving time. We present to you the national flag of the Federal Republic of Germany. From the German machines, we move to a country whose fashion industry is one of the most fascinating in the continent and the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence. Please help us welcome the national flag of Ghana. Thank you, Ghana. Next on stage is a country that is perhaps one of the sunniest places. Its capital city is named after the goddess Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare. This is also home to the most theatrical stages in the world. Give it up for the national flag of Greece. From the capital city of Athena in Greece, we shift gears to a country where the famous Titanic ship was built, a country with the most Nobel Prize winners in literature per capita and also home to the iconic whiskey drink. This is also the only country in the world to have a musical instrument as its national symbol. Please help us welcome the national flag of Ireland. Thank you, Ireland. Next on stage is Africa's last absolute monarchy and is one of the few countries in the world where both black and white rhinos can be found. This is one of Africa's stable countries and enjoys a sound investment climate. A round of applause for the national flag of the Kingdom of Eswatini. Kingdom of Eswatini. We now move to a country commonly referred to as the Kingdom in the Sky, the only country on earth that exists entirely above 1,000 meters, a country with one of the highest adult literacy rates in Africa. A round of applause for the national flag of Lesotho. From the south, we quickly move to Western Africa to find a country home to a diverse range of landscapes, including tropical rainforests, savanna, and mountain ranges. This is home to the best surfing locations in Africa. I present to you the national flag of Liberia. Liberia, I now take you to the home of Alexander the Great, one of the world's most famous conquerors. This is the second mountainous country in the world. Interestingly, the country is home to parts of the cross of which Jesus was crucified. Please, help us welcome the national flag of Macedonia. From northern Macedonia, I take you to the warm heart of Africa and a country with the richest concentration of rock art in Central Africa. This is also a country that has been dubbed as one of the safest countries in Africa. Give it up for the national flag of Malawi. Next on stage is the tropical paradise, a country surrounded by the world's third largest network of coral reefs, which makes it a scuba diver's paradise, an island awarded as the best travel destination in the world for honeymoon. Please help us welcome the national flag of Mauritius. Thank you, Mauritius. We now shift gears to a country whose name features all 5 vowels. It is also known as the City of Acacias and is home to the largest marine reserves in Africa and some of the world's best coral reefs. Please help us welcome the national flag of Mozambique. Still in Southern Africa, we find a country with some of the highest sand dunes in the world and the largest population of free-roaming cheetahs in the world. This is home to the second largest canyon in the world and the world's largest underwater lake. I present to you the national flag of the Republic of Namibia. Thank you, Namibia. Let's now head west to a country that prides itself in having perhaps the second largest film production industry on the globe and perhaps the largest economy in Africa. This is also the largest producer of oil and gas in Africa. Help me welcome the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, Nigeria. We now move to a country pioneering equal gender representation in politics with perhaps the highest percentage of women in parliament in the world. Every Saturday of the month is a community work day and the nation implements a car-free day. I present the Republic of Rwanda. Quickly crossing over into Britain, we find a country home to the tallest waterfall in Britain, a country whose official animal is the unicorn, and a country with the highest concentration of whiskey production in the world. Please help us welcome the national flag of Scotland. Scotland. We now move to Western Africa to find a country referred to as the Gateway of Africa because its coastline is the farthest western point on the continent. The baobab tree is the country's national symbol, and the nation cultivates a culture of sharing. A round of applause for the national flag of Senegal. From Dakar in Senegal, we now move to the African paradise with one of the best geographical makeups in the world. Home to the heaviest land tortoise living in the wild and an island believed to be buried with treasures waiting to be discovered. I present to you the national flag of the Republic of Seychelles. From the white sandy beaches lining the Freetown Peninsula, I present to you a country whose tropical climate makes it a hotbed for diverse wildlife and home to the famous cotton tree. It also hosts perhaps the largest natural harbor on the African continent. Give it up for the national flag of Sierra Leone. Thank you, Sierra Leone. We now move to the Horn of Africa to find a country with the longest coastline in mainland Africa. It has one of the highest fertility rates in the world, and residents eat a banana with every single meal. Please, help us welcome the national flag of Somalia. From Khartoum in Somalia, we move south to the homeland of the great Nelson Mandela. This is the home to the cradle of humankind and the only country in the world where two Nobel Peace Prize winners lived on the same street. This is also the only country in the world with 3 capital cities. Give it up for the national flag of South Africa. Thank you, South Africa. We take you back to Eastern Africa to find a country with one of the world's youngest population and linguistically diverse country. Communal meal sharing is a common practice among most of the communities in the country. A round of applause for the national flag of South Sudan. From Juba town, the capital city of South Sudan, we take you to a country home to the ancient Nubian civilization, one of Africa's oldest and most advanced cultures, a country flourishing along the banks of the Nile River, powered by agriculture. Interestingly, this country has more pyramids than Egypt. I present the national flag of Sudan. Thank you, Sudan. We now move to the rooftop of Africa. a country home to Mount Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa, a country where over 2 million animals travel during the Great Migration, and is home to Lake Tanganyika, the second largest lake in the world. Help me welcome the national flag of the United Republic of Tanzania. From Western Africa, I present to you the smallest country in mainland Africa, a country with a superb climate, friendly locals, and diverse wildlife that comprises close to 600 species of birds. This is the national flag of the Gambia. From Banjul, the capital city of the Gambia, I take you to a country that boasts of rich cultural diversity, stunning landscapes, and warm hospitality. The country is also renowned for its traditional handicrafts, including wood carvings, clay pottery, and basket weaving. Give it up for the national flag of Togo. Thank you, Togo. We now move to Eastern Africa to find a country commonly referred to as the Pearl of Africa. This is home to the largest freshwater lake on the continent and the source of the longest river in Africa. This is one of the best settings for the adventurous and wildlife experience and the second largest producer of bananas in the world. I'll give you the national flag of the beautiful Republic of Uganda. From Kampala in Uganda, we take a flight to the Middle East to find a culturally colorful country, a federal presidential elected monarchy. This is a country known to come up with surprising world records every year and is home to the world's tallest building and world's first 7-star hotel, the most luxurious in the world. Please help us welcome the national flag of the United Arab Emirates. From Abu Dhabi in Dubai, we take you to Heathrow Airport in London to find a country home to Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in the world. This is also home to English football champions Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspurs, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Everton, and also home to internationally feted films like James Bond and Mr. Bean. Please help me welcome the national flag of the United Kingdom. All the way from North America, I present to you a country with the 4th longest river system in the world. This is the largest economy in the world and home to some of the best musical artists of all time. It is also the 3rd most popular tourist destination in the world. I give you the national flag of the United States of America. Thank you, USA. We come back to Africa to find a country that holds everything that there is to love about raw and untamed Africa. A country credited for pioneering the walking safaris and jointly owns Lake Kariba, the world's biggest man-made lake. I present you with the national flag of Zambia. From Lusaka, Zambia, we head back east to a country with crystal waters, sandy beaches, amazing wildlife, and diverse culture. Second only to tourism, spice farming forms a major part of the national economy. This was the first country in Africa to introduce color television in 1973. Give it up for the national flag of Zanzibar. Thank you, Zanzibar. And now, we go to home of Victoria Falls, the largest waterfall in the world and one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. A country with the most official languages in the world. Their national anthem was originally a song sung competitively by school choirs. Please help me welcome the national flag of Zimbabwe. Thank you, Zimbabwe. Now, I present to you the flag of the continental body leading the continent towards promoting financial inclusion through the cooperative business model. This institution is providing leadership in Africa in the promotion of regulatory framework, creating awareness about the importance of inclusivity and supporting innovative initiatives aimed at improved service to members. This is also the institution that has consistently convened the annual SACCA Congress for the past 24 years, preceded by the flag of the World Council of Credit Unions, WOCU, and the flag of African American Credit Union Coalition, AACUC. I present to you the flag of ACCOSCA.
The African Confederation of Cooperative Savings and Credit Association, ACCOSCA. Have you been wondering, looking for help and you cannot get? There is a better way. Credit union is the best of the best. There is an association, a Pan-African Confederation of Cooperative Savings and Credit. All that you want, they are it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for helping us receive the national flags of all the 44 countries attending the 2024 SACCA Congress. And now, in honor of the beautiful country hosting the 2024 SACCA Congress, we humbly request you all to be upstanding. This is the world's leading safari destination, home to Wangari Maathai, the first woman to win a Nobel Peace Prize, home to the world's best Olympic record breakers like Eliud Kipchoge and Faith Kipyegon, and also home to Mount Kenya, Africa's second highest mountain. Ladies and gentlemen, help us welcome the national flag of the Republic of Kenya.
Mungu nguvu yetu, ilete baraka kwetu, wahimiwe na mlinzi, na tukae na udugu, amani na uhuru, na tupate na ustawi. Amkeni ndugu zetu, tufanye sote bidii, nasi tujitoe kwa nguvu. Nchi yetu ya Kenya tunayoipenda, tuwe tayari kuilinda na tujenge taifa letu. Ndio wajibu wetu. shukrani.
Good. Thank you. Wow, what about that? I think we can clap big as we are sitting for the flag carriers. Each single one of them has done a good job. Yes, we appreciate you as well. All right, up next, Your Excellency, our chief guest, we shall have remarks from our host, interim chair for Cusco, which is the apex body for this country. But who is David Mategwa? Press, media.
He is a seasonal leader with extensive credit union knowledge in Kenya and Africa. He has demonstrated visionary leadership by turning around Kenya National Police Deposit-Taking SACCO into one of the most highly valued and respected credit unions in Africa. He is known to uphold more robust governance practices and relationship building and effectively manage risk. He also serves as a board member of the Kenya-based Cooperative Development Foundation of Canada. He is a highly respected leader in the region. He has received numerous Head of State awards, the Order of the Golden Warrior, OGW, and the Distinguished Service Award, the highest cooperative honor for SACCOs from ACOSCA. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the interim national chairperson of the Kenya Union and Savings and Credit Cooperatives Limited, Cusco, David Mategwa.
Thank you, our chief guest, His Excellency, Honorable Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, our Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Cooperative and MSMEs, Honorable Wycliffe Ampenza Oparanya, FCPA, other Cabinet Secretary present, Cabinet Ministers present, our Principal Secretary for Cooperative, Mr. Patrick Kilemi, other Principal Secretary present, Permanent Secretaries present, all protocol observed. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, my role is simple. First, allow me to introduce the interim Cusco board. Please to stand up for appreciation. Thank you, Your Excellency. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all the delegates, all that have come to attend this SACCA Congress. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the cooperative movement in Kenya to welcome to this beautiful country, to say Karibuni, and also, Your Excellency, I will not leave the stage without appealing to the delegates to enjoy the warmth of our people, enjoy our good food, also to visit our national parks. And I want to tell you, we are in a county where we have a national park that you can visit within minutes. You will be in the parks and you will see our beautiful nature. And also the neighboring county, Your Excellency, where we have beautiful national parks where you will see all the big five. And I know we are ready to arrange for you after this conference. Please remain behind 2 days, 3 days, and your visa will be sorted out. We are ambassadors. We are people who will sort out your visa quickly and arrange for your safari to Masai Mara and enjoy our beautiful animals, also our beautiful beaches. Others, thank you and welcome. Karibuni sana.
As guests, we shall enjoy to the fullest. We shall enjoy. We promise to enjoy. Who say yes? Let's clap big for David Madegwa. Good. So we are organized as SACCOs or credit unions in Africa through our apex body, a continental body called ACOSCA. The co-organizers of this event and the whole SACCA Congress. And so, what is ACOSCA? Who is ACOSCA? Which is ACOSCA? I don't know how to define that. I think media will help me to show us what ACOSCA is.
In the realm of credit unions, knowledge is powerful. One of our strengths as Africans is our inner resilience, the ingenuity and the resourcefulness of our people. As the world prepares to mark the 2025 International Year of Cooperatives, SACCOs in Africa are creating positive ripples of change to build thriving and resilient communities.
Our cooperative movement has already contributed immensely to the national socio-economic development and is poised to escalate this contribution to an exponentially transformational scale.
At the heart of this threshold of unprecedented growth and prosperity, the African Confederation of Cooperative Savings and Credit Association, ACOSCA, has played a critical role in fueling Africa's pathway towards sustainable development and prosperity.
The government of Botswana acknowledges that the SACCA Congress provides an important occasion that will contribute towards stimulating and presenting opportunities for knowledge exchange, networking, and building partnerships that will shape the future of the cooperative movement in Africa.
In October 2022, we embarked on an ambitious initiative to conquer Africa's highest rooftop, Mount Kilimanjaro in Moshi, Tanzania, with one clear message.
Our objective is to show that credit union is a model about inclusion and not exclusion. The manner in which we've worked together with people here, it has been about collaboration and cooperation.
We are women of influence!
Reducing gender disparity remains one of our top strategic objectives at ACOSCA. This is our contribution to accelerating Africa's progress towards gender-inclusive economic growth.
And that's why we wear at ACOSCA this purple scarf. This purple scarf symbolizes the idea that SACCOs are for everyone.
We continue to also provide leadership to heighten the professionalism and image of SACCOs within the movement to ensure that our people benefit from professionally run financial institutions. Since its inception in July 2014, ADE has attracted close to 1,500 credit union professionals from 36 countries spread across the globe. Through the immersive Africa Development Educators Program, the uptake of the cooperative business model among credit union leaders in Africa is hitting an all-time high.
ADE has been very, very impactful in that it revolutionizes your thinking about the entire process of leading and managing a SACCO.
We are also building synergy and strategic partnerships through a united approach. Through ACCA, credit unions in Africa continue to receive international recognition, fueling new, innovative ways to strengthen the cooperative movement in Africa.
ACCA is the right person to have in the room. They are convening these great ideas for best practices and how to make us better as leaders.
It feels like ACCA is just moving and we're all just trying to catch up and keep up.
ACCA believes that cooperative movement in Africa can significantly contribute to sustainable development goals.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
To this end, ACCA launched the African Cooperative Climate Action Plan in partnership with Development International Desjardins DID.
By launching this campaign, ACCA and Desjardins International Development are taking a stand and demonstrating our dedication to a sustainable future.
To redefine the continent's economic landscape, champion deepened financial inclusion, and improve the access and usage of formal financial services among women and youth in Africa. ACCA and Visa have partnered to roll out an ambitious initiative dubbed Financial Inclusion in Kenya and Tanzania FIKT project.
The Financial Inclusion Project is an embodiment of our purpose, aiming to extend our reach to those who have been left out by fostering a more inclusive digital economy.
Scaling up financial wellness for young women and youth in Africa by ACCA continues to ignite change as a conduit for bringing financial inclusion to marginalized communities in Africa.
Traditionally, ACCA has been offering training to institutions, but being able to offer a specialized training to the deaf community and a training offered in sign language. This is the first, this is a game changer, and this is the true meaning of financial inclusion in Africa.
As ACCA, we are repositioning Africa for prosperity, changing one member at a time. This is our commitment to you. ACCA, empowering and promoting cooperatives in Africa.
Wow, let's clap big for that. And the executive director for ACCA is Mr. George Ombado. Your Excellency, he's up next to articulate his message this afternoon. But who is George Ombado?
He serves as the Executive Director of the African Confederation of Cooperative Savings and Credit Associations, ACCA, the continental association promoting financial inclusion in Africa and advocating for all financial cooperatives at the global level. He has been instrumental in strengthening regional, interregional, and intercontinental collaboration in the cooperative sector. His contribution to revitalizing cooperative financial institutions and establishing strategies that foster sustainable and inclusive development is recognized on the continent, as evidenced by the leadership he provided in the growth of ACCA and the establishment of credit union networks in various countries in Africa. He currently serves as the project director of the Africa Development Educators Program, ADE, part of the Global Development Educators DE program for credit unions, and also convenes the African Regulators Roundtable, a network of credit union regulators whose objective is to support and promote financial soundness of credit unions on the continent. He sits on several boards, as well as serving treasurer of the Cadastre Foundation based in Washington, D.C., chair of the management committee of Proxfin Network, which is established by the Desjardins International Development DID as a platform for dialogue with the financial and inclusion space, and as a member of the Africa Cooperative Development Foundation ACDF. He was inducted in the African American Credit Union Hall of Fame in 2022 and is a recipient of the Kenya Head of State Commendation in 2023. In April 2024, he joined WOCU Board of Directors representing the African Credit Union. He is a development economist with a BCom from Daystar University, a Master's in Economics of Development from Erasmus University, Rotterdam, Netherlands, and a Master's in Management from Strathclyde Business School, United Kingdom. He is also an alumnus of Harvard Business School with a certificate in strategic leadership. Before joining development work, he worked in the banking sector in Europe and Africa. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the African Confederation of Cooperative Savings and Credit Associations, ACCOSCA Executive Director, George Ombado.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. In times like these, our chief guest, His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Salia Mudavadi, our Cabinet Secretary, who is very passionate on the work that we're doing in Kenya, Wycliffe Oparanya, and all the ministers present, the permanent secretaries, and I'd like to recognize our permanent secretary, Patrick Kilemi, who we worked with to organize this particular meeting. I will not thank you. I will not begin by thanking Almighty God for giving us an opportunity to be here. Africa is a continent of 1.3 billion. Many people are struggling. Yet everybody here in this room is a privileged person because you can afford 3 meals in a day. And our chief guest, when we came in and towards the end, you had the flags that were being mentioned. The structure in which we work in, there is the SACCOs. SACCOs work together with the national associations who form the continental body and work together with World Council. That's why there were 2 flags. And there's a special flag that I must flag, if that is the correct English. The African American Credit Union Coalition, who managed to bring 12 credit union leaders, managed to bring 35 credit union leaders from 12 credit union leaders, controlling an asset base of $115 billion to attend the SACCA Congress. Thank you. There's an African saying that those who stand with you in an hour of need, you'll always be with them. African American Credit Union Coalition. Thank you, Renee. Our chief guest, in February, the government, the cabinet secretary, formed a task force that worked tirelessly since February to make this event a success. And I'm delighted that you are here to represent His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto. And the communication is, there was a team, and I'd like them just to stand where they are. There's Marube, CEO of CAK, Richard Nyakenogo from CIC, Vincent Marangu from the Cooperative Bank, CEO of Sasra, there's Martha, Joanne, Grace, and all played a key role, the Commissioner of Cooperative. But above all, there's one person who consistently, thank you, one person who consistently chaired the sessions, followed up. In fact, for the first time, we are saying we did not have a committee. We had a working group. Everybody in that group was working under the leadership of the PS and the Cabinet Secretary. But let's give a hand to Patrick Kilemi. Our chief guest, ACCOSCA believes in the power of unity. You can achieve so much when you are united, but you can achieve little. It doesn't matter how big you are if you are not united. I'm reminded that there's an animal in our park called the buffalo. It takes almost 5 lions to put down 1 buffalo. It takes our collective effort, our chief guests, to solve the problems that we're having. The symbol of flag parade symbolizes that our DNA is the same for the credit union across the globe. For that reason, I'm reminded again of our slogan, Credit Union, Credit Union, Happy Family. Our chief guest, we agree that in a family, you have to agree, you disagree, but you stick to the common good of humanity. I'm reminded during COVID time, everybody was struggling to look for oxygen. It didn't matter if you're the president of a republic, but you needed oxygen if you're sick. Oh, by the way, there was no vanilla oxygen. Oxygen was oxygen, whether in Liberia, Jamaica, it was oxygen. And what connects everybody in this room is the philosophy of the credit union, our chief guest. A credit union is a powerful movement that believes in empowering people. Again, because we believe in unity and the structure that we hope the continent will see the value for that, and I believe a number of them have always wished for this kind of structure. Some time back, 15 years ago, there were close to 8 cooperative banks in Africa. There was cooperative bank in Uganda, cooperative bank in Zambia, cooperative bank in Tanzania, Kenya. The only cooperative bank that stands today in the continent of Africa is the Cooperative Bank of Kenya. But we believe that if we are together, we'll be able to achieve a lot. ACOSCA works with TruStage. TruStage is an insurance corporate in the United States of America, similar to what you have in Kenya called CIC. It's my pledge and hope that as we work to see that there's professionalism in the continent, we structure and see that in our respective countries, we have models. Our chief guests, this country, despite that the headquarters of ACOSCA is based in Kenya, Kenya has played an instrumental role to support the credit union. As a happy family, the gentleman who was in front of you is an MC. What is not an MC? He's a CEO of the fastest growing credit union in the continent of Africa today, in the Republic of Malawi, called United Civil Servant SACCA, Francis Waliwa. At ACOSCA, we've made a deliberate decision that anybody in our space is somebody who understands the ethos of the cooperative system. We've made in our mind that we will work with those who believe our values and principles are the ones that are enshrined and believed for across the globe. We believe in unity of purpose. But let me mention, as I close, this could not have happened if we did not have these two institutions. There is African Cooperative Development Foundation, and I'd like to introduce the leaders of African Cooperative Foundation, and the team helped me introduce the board of African Cooperative Development Foundation.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the board of the African Cooperative Development Foundation, ACDF. Lois Cage, Board Chairperson, USA. David Mategwa, Board Vice Chairperson, Kenya. George Ombado, Board Member, Kenya. Chrissy Sheni, Board Member, USA. Ambassador Emmanuel Darko, Board Member, Ghana. Rani Satiwhite, Board Member, USA. Grace Watsiera, Board Member, Kenya. Marlene Shields, Board Member, Scotland. Fumbani Nyangulo, Board Member, Malawi. Bart Hash, Board Member, USA.
Thank you. Various programs have been organized across the continent, are continuously being organized across the continent because of the leadership of this particular group. We thank you for your service. Thank you. Our chief guest, I'd also like to introduce a COSCA board. A COSCA, as you heard all the stories around that you heard about a COSCA, I'd like the board of a COSCA again to be introduced.
Introducing a COSCA Board of Directors, Madam Somoe Nguhe, a COSCA Board Chairperson from the United Republic of Tanzania, representing the Eastern Bloc, Dr. Bernard B.B. Bingab, a COSCA Board Vice Chairperson from the Republic of Ghana, representing the Western Bloc, Jeanette Magolo, a COSCA Board Treasurer from the Republic of Botswana, representing the Southern Bloc, Fodei Sanyang, a COSCA Board Director from the Republic of the Gambia, representing the Western Bloc, Fumbani Nyangulo, a COSCA Board Director from the Republic of Malawi, representing the Southern Bloc, Winile Villane, a COSCA Board Director from the Kingdom of Eswatini, representing the Southern Bloc, and George Ombado, Executive Director of COSCA.
Our chief guests, you could see, we represent the continent. This is a group that has believed in ethics. This is a group that has believed it doesn't matter if you walk alone, provided you're doing the right thing. At the end of the day, you'll continue serving our membership. And that's the principle of the cooperative. Thank you. Lastly, our chief guest, before we move on, I'd like to say that with the lessons that have been learned from all over the world, we've had many leaders coming to visit good circles in the continent. The top 10 circles in Africa today, we have, if you look at the top 10, 7 of them are coming from Kenya. Kenya Police Circle and Steamer Circle have received probably the highest number of international delegates because of the things that they do within their space. The thing that they do, they see that they serve their membership. Our chief guests, delegates from across the globe, even from US, Coolfast, which is the 5th largest credit union in America. I've traveled to Boresha Circle. I've traveled to Imarisha Circle. Why? Because our principle is the same, but at COSCA, we select circles that we know are making an impact within the space. Lastly, our chief guests having problems. But we need to sit down, despite having problems, and solve our problem as cooperative leaders. I want to thank the interim board of Cusco. Despite everything, Cusco interim board have stood the test of time to say we are going to steer the international or the credit union movement in the right direction. Please clap for the leadership of Cusco board. And with that, I'd like to invite the principal secretary who will do his remark. While doing so, I know there are many other supporters that provided support to this meeting. We thank you. I will not mention all of you. Some of you have been dedicated, providing moral support, but I'd like to just continuously mention the top movement people who supported us: Cooperative Bank, Kenya Police, Visa International, the Steamer Circle. But there are many of you who've supported. We do recognize you and will continue explaining the kind of things that you're doing for the continent. Thank you.
Thank you. Our chief guest, Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, our Cabinet Minister, ministers present, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I study as a Principal Secretary and as the Chairman of the Organizing Committee. It's a big honor for our country to have you all here. Welcome home. I want to acknowledge a few dignitaries who have joined us today. I'll start with Dr. Ado Karanja, our Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture. Please start and wave to the crowd. Our Cabinet Secretary for East African Communities and ASALs, Ms. Beatrice Askul, please. Thank you for coming. The Minister in charge of Cooperatives from the Gambia, Honorable Nguf, please start and wave. The Minister in charge of Cooperatives from South Sudan, Honorable Lago, please start and wave the crowd. We have Ambassador His Excellency, Mr. Nyoga, representing His Excellency the President of Rwanda. Please start and wave. We have colleagues, PS from Malawi, Honorable Zunwawe. Please start and wave. We have the PS, my colleague PS for Devolution, Cherian Baika. Please start and wave. And we have a representative from the High Commission of Tanzania, Mr. Maingombe. Please start that wave. Thank you for coming. Again, as I said, it's a big honor to have you all here. Your presence here is a confirmation that Kenya is a leader in the cooperative movement. We are leaders in conference hosting. We are leaders in tourism. And we want you to live. We want you to give an experience of our kindness and of our generosity. As we finish this conference, please welcome to sample what this country has to offer. It's a beautiful country, from the hippos outside here to the animals down in the Masai Mara. It is now my honor and privilege to invite the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Cooperatives and MSME, Honorable Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, to make his remarks and invite the chief guest, Bwana Oparanya.
He has over 20 years of professional experience in local and international finance management, audit and business consultancy, rising from audit trainee to finance director. In addition, he had a long outstanding 21-year transformational leadership experience in public service. He has served previously as a member of parliament for Butere constituency and Minister for State Planning, National Development and Vision 2030. He has cemented his status as a pioneering figure in Kenya's devolved governance system. Under his leadership, Kakamega County was ranked severally as one of the best performing county governments in development, demonstrating his commitment to public service and his passion for driving developmental progress. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Cabinet Secretary in the Kenyan Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs Development, Honorable Dr. Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya.
Good evening, everybody. Let me try your slogan. Credit Union. Happy family. Sinimejua. I have known. Our chief guest, His Excellency Honorable Dr. Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, PGH, Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary in charge of Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs, Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, fellow Cabinet Ministers who are here, Principal Secretaries, all representatives from foreign missions and countries, distinguished representatives from international organizations, leaders of cooperative organizations, esteemed cooperators, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening once again, and welcome to the annual cooperative movement here at the shores of Lake Naivasha, Kenya. It is an immense honor to stand before you today as we gather to celebrate the remarkable achievements of cooperatives and micro, small, and medium enterprises across Africa and the globe. Today, we take pride in celebrating the various development initiatives by our government, led by His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of our Defense Forces, William Ruto. His leadership has been a beacon of hope for our cooperative movement and our MSMEs, and we are grateful for this unwavering support. Recognizing the urgency to preserve and maintain the role of cooperatives in national economic and social development, the government vigorously pursued legislative and institutional reforms to strengthen the cooperative subsector. The government affirms its commitment to uphold the sanity of the cooperative values and principles as a way of enabling the growth of cooperative enterprises while ensuring that the interests of the general memberships are safeguarded. Kenya has a long history of cooperative development that has been characterized by strong growth, thus making a significant contribution to the overall economy. I also extend a warm welcome to my fellow ministers from Africa and esteemed leaders from around the world. Your presence here signifies the importance of cooperation and collaboration as we tackle the challenges and seize the opportunities that lie ahead. As many of you know, the 2024 SACCA Congress is not just a platform for dialogue. It is a celebration of our collective progress. I congratulate the leadership of ACOSCA for its efforts in strengthening the African cooperative sector through the initiative on capacity building, training, and advocacy within the continent and across the world. Last year, we convened in Botswana, where we shared invaluable insights and experience that continue to shape our cooperative narratives. Under the theme, Promotion Sustainable Socioeconomic Transformation through Cooperatives, the government of Kenya recognizes that the SACCA Congress presents a rare platform for global cooperators to engage with stakeholders, benchmark on policy framework approaches, and dialogue on best practices that strengthen diversity, equity, and inclusive development in Africa. The team seeks to promote cooperatives and raise awareness of their contribution to the implementation of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and social economic development in Africa. I'm pleased that Kenya received the privilege to host this year's meeting, a testament to our commitment to advancing the cooperative sector. We are excited to share our unique experiences and innovative practices with all of you as we strive to deepen our cooperative movement and spur economic development. As we prepare to pass the baton once again, I am pleased to announce that Ghana will be our next gracious host for the 2025 session. We look forward to a productive engagement with our Ghanaian friends and learning from the rich prosperity of their cooperative history. Ladies and gentlemen, let us remember that the cooperative movement is a powerful force for empowerment. It unites individuals from diverse backgrounds, fostering a sense of community, shared responsibility, and mutual support. Together, we can create sustainable solutions that addresses the pressing challenges facing our societies. Today, as we share ideas, build partnerships, and forge new paths, let us reaffirm our dedication to empowering our members, supporting our communities, and promoting wise governance that reflects cooperative principles. In closing, I invite all of you to engage wholesomely in the discussion and activities planned over the next few days. Let us come together to inspire, innovate, and implement the changes we wish to see. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now is my opportunity to thank you once again for coming, especially the fellow ministers who have come from various countries to come and join us today. I hope you will be staying with us up to the end of the session. Now join me, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome the Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs to share his remarks today. Thank you.
As a decorated leader and policymaker with extensive experience at the helm of various cabinet ministerial dockets, he was the 7th Vice President of the Republic of Kenya in 2002 and Deputy Prime Minister from 2008 to 2013. He entered politics at the age of 28 and served as a Member of Parliament for the Sabatia constituency from 1989 to 2002 and again from 2007 to 2013. He is a consummate public servant who has held cabinet ministerial positions for most of his political life in supply and marketing, finance, agriculture, transport, information and communication, and local government. As finance minister in the early 1990s, he courageously led the extensive liberalization and deregulation of the Kenya economy. In information and communication, he is credited for the liberalization of the communication sector into the current vibrant sector of free media and ICT to successes such as Safaricom. As Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Local Government, he was in charge of the implementation of devolution under the Constitution promulgated in 2010. He is hailed for pushing for acts of parliament that entrench the current devolved system of government. He is a member of the Institution of Surveyors of Kenya, MISK, and a registered valuer, RV, and was awarded an honorary doctorate of humane letters in peace and sustainable development by Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology in 2022. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding in honor of our chief guest this afternoon, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs in the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Dr. Musalia Mudavadi.
Please be seated. Thank you. This is a big event. Okay. All right, let me make my remarks. Heads of delegations, the honorable guests, cabinet secretaries, my colleague, Wycliffe Oparanya, esteemed representatives of foreign missions and countries, distinguished representatives from international organizations, government officers present, leaders of cooperative organizations, cooperators, ladies and gentlemen. I will not name my colleagues here because they've been acknowledged, but thank you for being here. The remarks I'm about to make are not mine. They are remarks that I'm making on behalf of His Excellency President William Ruto. At the tail end, I may chip in. So, these are his remarks, and I can assure you he would have really liked to be here. Yesterday he had an opportunity to spend some time at the State House with the Minister Wycliffe Oparanya, and he had a very robust engagement with them, and therefore today I stand in on his behalf. It is my great honor and privilege to address you today at the 24th Annual Savings and Credit Cooperative Associations Congress here in the beautiful town of Naivasha, Kenya. I would like to take this early opportunity to extend a warm welcome to all our distinguished delegates from 42 countries around the world. I also warmly acknowledge the presence of honorable cabinet ministers from across the African continent, whose participation highlights the importance of regional cooperation. In addition, I recognize the representatives from international organizations and development partners whose continued support has been invaluable to the growth of our cooperative movement. I invite each of you to collaborate with us here in Kenya, particularly through the Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs Development. Together, by integrating cooperatives into our national development agenda, we can create employment opportunities, reduce poverty, and promote social inclusivity, especially for marginalized groups. Your involvement is important as we work towards building a brighter, more equitable future for all. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather in this esteemed assembly, we recognize the important role that cooperatives play, not only in driving our economies, but also in uplifting our communities, promoting inclusivity, and empowering individuals to improve their livelihoods. Cooperatives serve as a powerful engine for empowerment and social cohesion, especially for marginalized groups. Their strength lies in our shared vision, unified purpose, and the resilience that propels us forward, ensuring no one is left behind in the pursuit of economic and social progress. Now, turning to the theme of this year's Congress, I am pleased to note that this year's SACCA theme, the role of cooperatives in promoting sustainable socioeconomic transformation, aligns perfectly with the Kenya government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Better is leading a transformative change in the lives of rural and urban poor communities, with a focus on key pillars such as agricultural transformation, the MSME economy, housing and settlement, and the digital superhighway and creative economy. This theme also reflects the vision articulated in Kenya's sessional paper number 4 of 2020 on national cooperative policy, which underscores promoting cooperatives for socio-economic transformation. Cooperatives in Kenya span various productive economic sectors and play an important role in providing livelihoods, particularly for those at the bottom of the economic pyramid. Cooperatives, especially in the financial sector, have consistently excelled in financial deepening and currently account for over 30% of the country's domestic savings. By the end of 2023, savings and credit cooperatives, that is SACCOs, under the regulatory framework of the SACCO Societies Regulatory Authority, SASRA, had a membership of 8.84 million depositors, basically, and they controlled an asset base of 972 billion shillings, basically 1 trillion, with savings amounting to 682 billion and an outstanding loan portfolio exceeding 758 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not just numbers. They are the lifeblood of our economy, demonstrating the enormous potential of the cooperative movement. However, despite these impressive achievements, cooperatives continue to face challenges that hinder their growth and development. These include low capitalization, inadequate adoption of technology, low levels of value addition, limited market access, and weak governance structures. Dear cooperatives, my government is committed to providing an enabling environment through appropriate policy, legal, and institutional frameworks to ensure cooperatives thrive by overcoming the aforementioned challenges. The Cooperatives Bill number 7 of 2024, currently before Parliament, is expected to strengthen governance and enhance efficiency in the management and operations of cooperatives in Kenya. Other ongoing legal and institutional reforms include the establishment of a SACCO central liquidity framework, which will improve liquidity in the sector by facilitating short-term inter-SACCO lending and access to the national payment system. In addition to these reforms, we are also enhancing the Coffee Cherry Advanced Revolving Fund to Kenya shilling 6.7 billion, streamlining the Nairobi Coffee Exchange through demutualization, and supporting cotton farmers with modern ginning equipment and modernizing the new KCC plant and equipment. I commend the African Confederation of Cooperative Savings and Credit Associations, ACOSCA, for its relentless efforts to support financial inclusion in Africa by advocating the SACCO business model. The Africa Development Educators Program has been instrumental in enhancing the professionalism and image of SACCOs across the continent, instilling cooperative principles and philosophies among professionals. I am happy to note that since its inception in 2014, the ADE has sparked change in 36 countries, fostering financial inclusion and economic empowerment for marginalized communities. I also recognize the valuable role played by ACOSCA in partnership with Visa International. This collaboration is transforming communities in Kenya by focusing on youth, women, and marginalized groups. Through innovative financial education programs and strategic linkages to cooperatives offering financial services, they are enhancing access and empowering these underserved groups to participate in the formal economy. Additionally, I recognize ACOSCA's partnership with Development International des Jardins, the largest credit union network in the world, in establishing a cooperative climate action plan. This plan supports member institutions in adopting environmental, social, and governance initiatives that promote resilience and sustainability. The African Cooperative Climate Action Plan is a significant step towards helping countries, including Kenya, better preserve and conserve the environment, enhance resilience, adapt to and mitigate climate change, and support the transition to a green and circular economy. My government, on its part, is implementing a climate action plan to plant 15 billion trees by 2032, aiming to increase the forest cover from 12% to 30%. I was told that there'll be a tree planting engagement for the members in the course of the program. I am pleased to note that cooperatives in Kenya have already embraced this ambitious goal. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has worked tirelessly to make this Congress a success. Your dedication and commitment are truly commendable. In particular, I thank the Ministry of Cooperative and Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises and ACOSCA for spearheading the convening of this biannual Congress. As we mark on this journey over the next few days, I encourage you to engage fully in the discussions, cultivate lasting partnerships, and seize the opportunity to advance our collective mission. Let us use this Congress to not only celebrate our achievements, but to also innovate new ways of ensuring the cooperative movement grows even stronger, transforming the lives across Africa. Together, we can make cooperation a powerful force for development across Africa. Thank you, and may the spirit of cooperation guide us to success. On behalf of my government, the people of the Republic of Kenya, and the Kenyan cooperative movement, I declare the 24th SACCA Congress officially open. Karibu Kenya, welcome to Kenya. Thank you. That is the President's speech, so allow me 2 minutes. At a personal level, let me just say that earlier this year, the President of Kenya hosted 2 critical meetings. One was the IDA 21 replenishment. This is the World Bank concessionary window. And the target was to be able to mobilize close to $120 billion globally, which can then be channeled to countries that fall within the category of developing nations that qualify for the IDA fund. Close to it, there were also the annual African Development Bank meetings, and there was a call also from the ADB for the 17th replenishment of the ADB's concessionary window as well. And their target was to grow from about 12 billion US dollars to about 30 billion US dollars, again under the concessionary window. Why do I raise this particular conversation? I raise this, or I flag it, because if you want to talk about concessionary funding, effective concessionary funding that targets and gets to the people, you cannot afford to ignore the cooperative movement. So I'm putting this forward so that as one of your resolutions, it would be so important that if you can also anchor yourselves within the IDA framework, the World Bank framework, so that you can draw more resources other than what members contribute, but draw more resources that can be channeled through the various cooperative movements. And you are better off managing those resources than some of the institutions elsewhere. So you'd be able to help a lot in the alleviation of poverty, in reaching out to the small businesses, in reaching out to the small farmer in all parts of the continent. And I think this is an important call for you to take up more aggressively. I would also say that it would be a good opportunity for the cooperative movement to also help in tackling this elephant in the room, the debt that is choking many African countries. Through the cooperative movement, through the savings culture, we have the ability and the capacity that can have a very serious impact in ensuring that the debt that is making it difficult for resources to be channeled in the right places through the efforts and the infrastructure around the cooperative movements. Again, we can have tremendous impact from yourselves, from your networks, from your assets. This is something that I thought, at a personal level, let me just add. Those are the 2 minutes I was talking about. Finally, let me commend the organizers for a very elaborate flag-bearing, what do you call it, catwalk? Parade. Let me use the word parade. That's better, not the catwalk. But there was a little bit of catwalking. Let me just say that the parade was tremendous, and you know, it just showed you how powerful humanity can be. You know, how you can move away from the national, move away from the regional, and then get to the international, and then ultimately just become human. The cooperative movement is so powerful. You really touch the soul. You really touch the soul. And I just want to encourage you that this is great. I wish you a tremendous engagement, successful engagement, and let us make it even bigger so that when we land in Ghana next time, let us not talk of 42 countries. Let us see how we can talk of 60. Somebody said 60. But this is the kind of momentum that we all need. Thank you. God bless you all, and have a very great Congress. Thank you.
May I request you, sir? May I request you, sir, that you resume the stage? Yeah, sure. As we appreciate more, let's appreciate him more by clapping big. Yes, it's okay. We shall go to gift presentation. Let me request Madam Ruthie, who is Chief Protocol and Media. Have I promoted you? Yeah, sure. All the same. Yes, for the gift presentation, and it is going to go like this. We shall have, let me request the CS back. All right. George will go first. George Ombado. Oh, all right, yeah. Yes, okay. Okay, the communications was, yeah, sure. All right, so the CS is going to make the first presentation to our chief guest. We may resume our seats. Let's resume our seats. Oh, please.